Hi. I'm going to go through the boards from today, and I'll just wait like 1 minute so that everybody has the time to join. I hope you liked the boards I selected. We selected them together. Hi everybody, good to see so many faces. And good luck to congratulations to the winners. I saw there had a lot of good boards, so I will try to pay some attention to some of the boards. And if everyone is okay, I'll just start with the board I want to show you, and then we'll take some questions regarding that board. And after I finish the boards I have selected to say something about, then you can ask questions about other boards as well, obviously. So let me try to pull up the first board, and that is in fact board number 1, so that's convenient. And let me see if I have the if I can find the pair I want to see. So this, and then TV. So somebody can anybody see the board? Okay, yeah, okay, thanks. So what is something of a recurrent theme through the boards that I've selected, and also the other boards that I didn't select, is preempting. Preempting style is important in modern day bridge and has changed a lot. So I wanted to highlight a couple of boards where I've seen that the preempts that were chosen at the table were different from the ones I would recommend, and where better to start than with board 1. So when you have this north hand, you have Jack 10 6 of spades, which is a 6-card suit. Obviously not the best one available, but still it's a 6-card suit. And to boot, you have another good 4-card suit on the side. So in fact, when you pick up a hand like this, it should your thinking process should be, will I open 2 spades or will I open 3 spades? Those are basically the 2 main choices you should think about. And 3 spades seems a bit weird, since we are all taught that you need to have something like Queen Jack 6 of spades, Queen Jack 10 7 of spades to open 3. But a 6-4 distribution is very suitable to open 3 spades with. So much so that if the diamonds and the spades were reversed, as in you have Queen Jack 10 6 of spades and Jack 10 4 of diamonds, I would say that opening 3 spades is by far the best bid to make with the north hand. But with the actual north hand, I can live with 3 spades, but I completely understand 2 spades, and I think I would have done 2 spades myself as well. So we'll take it from there, because I selected the table that followed all the bits I was planning to make. 2 spades, East has an obvious takeout double, nothing to say about that. And South has a lot of spades and not a lot of points, so South will raise to 4 spades. So now so far the easy part. Now West has a very tough hand, and if you change the West hand a little bit, let's say you take away a club and you give the West another spade, so to give West like a balanced distribution with a 10 count, double on 4 spades would be the right bid. Double on 4 spades shows values, not necessarily lots of spade tricks, but just shows general values. You don't have the room to distinguish between all sorts of different hands. So double on high level bids should show values whenever partner has already entered the bidding. I saw some players pass with the West hand. That, I think, is too passive. You should definitely take action. I saw some players double with the West hand, and I think that's the alternative. But with a singleton spades, I would elect to take a bid other than double. And in this case, the bid chosen by the West player here was 4 no trump, to show that West has two different places to play. In this case, clubs and diamonds. And foreigner trump is asking partner to bid her long suits starting with the lowest. So had East had a fourth club, East would have bid 5 clubs and West would have passed. But as it happened, East had 5 diamonds and 3 clubs. So East bid 5 diamonds and West passed, which West would have passed, which is great. South obviously, and rightly so, didn't want to defend 5 diamonds and took the push to 5 spades. Now that is definitely the right bid. You cannot be sure of defeating 5 diamonds, and actually on this board you're very unlucky if you bid 5 spades, that you will find out afterwards that your partner had 2 diamond tricks, which is just very unlucky. So bidding 5 spades, in my opinion, is obvious. Now, either East or West should double that. Well, the hand with the 3 aces is the obvious double. And the lead was also important. And the lead was helped by the foreigner trump bid, because I saw some East players lead the ace of hearts. After you lead the ace of hearts, then in fact you give away a trick. You give the king of hearts to North, and now North will only lose the ace of clubs and the ace of hearts. So on this table, luckily, the ace of diamonds was chosen, and that was mainly because the East-West found a diamond fit. And the ace of diamonds didn't give away a trick, so in due time, North-South got their 3 tricks, resulting in 5 spades doubled -1, which was the most normal result on this board. Okay, this is what I was gonna say about this board. But if you have some questions, then feel free to ask them before I'll continue with my next board. So I'll just wait a while and see if you have any questions to ask about this board. Yeah, so let's address, I will not address maybe every question, but I'll address the interesting questions. The vulnerability is mentioned as a factor, and very rightly so. The fact that I recommend that I say opening 3 spades is very much okay, has everything to do with the vulnerability. I would never advocate for North hand to open 3 spades vulnerable. I should have made that more clear, but preempting style is very much linked to the vulnerability, and a favorable vulnerability, meaning we are not vulnerable and they are favorable. This is actually a 3 spade opening for sure, with nobody vulnerable, as was the case on board 1. I can go either way, and if North is vulnerable, I would never bid 3 spades. So if North passes, I would open the East hand with 1 diamond, just a natural 1 diamond bid. And South will overcall 1 spade, and then North will obviously bid 4 spades. And then if East-West continue to 5 diamonds, North would double that with 2 diamond tricks, and that would be very lucky. And for North not to have opened 2 spades herself, and then to find out that you could double 5 diamonds. So sometimes you get lucky by not opening the right bid, or at least the bid that I consider right. So I will not be presumptuous to say that I am the final authority, but for tonight I am. So. East and North passes. Okay. So if you're okay, I will go to board. That's the next board I want to discuss. Feel free to intervene if you have a question. Okay. So we go to board 5, and I'll select. Let me see if I have the select. Yes, this is the. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I got it. So if everything's okay, then I think you can see this board as well. What I wanted to discuss are a couple of things for this board. North is the dealer, and north-south are vulnerable. So north will pass, and then east has an opening bid to make. What I saw is that some opened with one club, and some opened with one trump. So with a 5-4-2-2 shape, we have all learned at the start that if you open a no trump, you are 5-3-3-2 or 4-4-3-2, and with 5-4 you just bid your suits, and that is in general the right way to go. But this hand is an exception. This hand has lots of points, lots of values in the short suits, and as a result of that, that doesn't have a very good long suit. So this east hand is for sure a one trump opening bid, and it's by far the most pragmatic way to handle this east hand. You want to tell your shape and your points in one go. So one trump is the bid you choose, and south obviously passes, and then west has an interesting hand. So you have an 8 count. So you have, first of all, you have to decide whether you want to treat this one as an invitational hand or a game forcing hand. And this West player started with 2 clubs, and which to me indicates that this West valued her hand as a game forcing hand. Tell me in the comments if you think this West hand is game forcing opposite the no trump opening or invitational, assuming the one trump bid shows 15-17. So I'm hoping to get some opinions of you. And meanwhile, I'll keep talking. And if you treat it as an invitational hand, I would start by transferring to hearts and then bid 2 spades. So you start by bidding 2 diamonds, partner bids 2 hearts, you bid 2 spades, which shows an exactly game invitational hand with 5 hearts and 4 spades. So the question you might ask, why is it exactly invitational? Well, because we have a different way of bidding if you treat this hand as game forcing. And I agree with, like most of you in the chat, that you treat this hand as game forcing, and I would do as well. 5-4 in the majors with lots of what do you mean, like intermediates should make you treat this hand as a game forcing hand. So you start by bidding 2 clubs, like the player did here. Now North has a double on 2 clubs to indicate to partner that she wants a club lead. Very, very well done. And it's always important to not let these chances go past you, because then they end up in playing 3 no trump, partner is on lead, and what will partner lead? Obviously your singleton spade, so you tell partner with double, you don't want that. So east, there are some conventions you can play which take into account the double of North, but I won't go into that now. East bids 2 spades. And now with the West hand, you should bid 4 spades. I think you are worth a game force with this hand. The fact that North doubled your 2 clubs actually improves your hand, because the values of North will be in clubs. Therefore, partner's values are more likely not in clubs, which suits your hand better. But what would you do as West if East did not have a 4-card major and had responded to diamonds? So then you would bid something different. You would use the Smolen convention. Maybe some of you have heard of the Smolen convention. Yes, I see in the chat that somebody already bid 3 hearts, and that's the right bid. That's not the right bid. Sorry, excuse me. Over 2 diamonds, you actually bid 3 spades, which is weird, because why would you bid your 4-card suit? The 3 spades has the message: I have 5 hearts and 4 spades, and I'm game forcing, and I'm letting partner play the contract. Basically, the reason why everybody plays transfers over no trump opening is also the reason why here you're not bidding your 5 cards suit, you're you're showing your 5-card suit by bidding the other major. So over 2 diamonds, you jump to 3 spades, showing exactly 4 spades and 5 hearts, asking East to pick the suit. But nothing happened here, because nothing like that happened here, because East could bid 2 spades and West should bid 4 spades, but in fact bid 3 spades, which ended up, but they ended up playing 4 spades anyway. So about the play, that's one of the rules we learn is that before pulling all the trumps, you should develop your side suit. So with this hand, it was a club lead. And a hard switch. So actually, in fact, North-South sort of helped East-West to develop the hard suit. But let's say they lead diamonds. In that case, let me go back to the start. Let's say they lead diamonds. So I can actually do the bidding. Excuse me, that's wrong. Pass. Let's say pass. 1 a trump, pass, 2 clubs, double, 2 spades, pass, 4 spades, pass, pass, pass. Let's say they lead diamonds. So what I think you should do is you should leave your ace of diamonds, because you want to have an entry to your heart, so you win the king of diamonds, and even before you lead trump, I would lead the king of hearts to get out the ace of hearts, and then pull the trumps, which some people did not do, and they ended up down 1 because the trumps were 4-1. So you should really take that into account. Let me see, you have some questions about this. Okay, I see most of you have treated this as game forcing. Yes. If West has an invitational hand and partner bids to diamond, then smaller becomes game forcing. That is the question. Yes. So if partner bids 2 diamonds here, pass, you cannot invite anymore. So that's the reason why actually at this point you partner over to no trump, pass, and now you have to bid. You have to judge whether your hand is game forcing or invitational. With an invitational hand, you start by giving a transfer and bidding 2 spades, showing an invitational hand. And with a game forcing hand, you start by bidding 2 clubs and then bidding game. So raising partner's major to game, or bidding Smolen with 3 spades. So yes, if you start by 2 clubs, then in effect you've declared your hand as game forcing. Okay. The question is, if 2 clubs game forcing, 3 spades actually stronger than 4? No, but you cannot really bid for. Sorry, if 2 clubs game forcing, 3 spades actually stronger than 4. No, the 3 spade bid was in response to the 2 diamond answer to 2 clubs. Then 3 spades, just a game forcing hand. If partner bids 2 spades, now you should just bid 4 spades, because 3 spades is not game forcing. Of course. Okay. Any more questions about this board? They say if you duck the first heart, you go with 2 times spade. Well, actually no. I would play the second heart also, and you because you have the high trumps, you just want to get rid of the ace of hearts, and then pull trumps and end up in the west hand to take all your hearts, which should allow you to make 10 tricks at least. 11 tricks are possible. But in teams, you shouldn't worry too much about that, and you should be happy with 10 tricks. Some people got into trouble by pulling too many rounds of trumps, and then being unable in the end to develop their hard suit. Okay, that was about it. What I wanted to say about this board. Please let me know if you have another question, and otherwise I'll continue with another board. Board 8. And let me see. I had this. Okay, this was a. Oh, sorry. I start talking too soon. This was an interesting board because it was a slam, which always gets the juices flowing. The West hand opens with one club, which is normal. And now North has a two-suited hand. And whenever you have two suits, I like to be able to show both suits at the same time. However, over one club bid, it's very inconvenient to do so because the only two-suited you can show is on the 2 level by bidding 2 clubs to show both majors normally. Some people use take 2 diamonds. If you want to show this two-suited, you have to bid on the 3 level. And your spade suit specifically is not suited for that. So I agree with the 1 spade overcall. East will bid 2 hearts, which is natural 5 or more hearts and forcing for at least 1 round. Should be like 10 or more points. And now I saw the different souths take different paths. I've selected the path I like the best. And that's the 3 spade bid. It's again similar reasoning to board 1, where I bid 3 spades as a preempt. You want to make life as tough as possible for the opponents. And if you have a 3-card spade, you bid 2 spades. If you have a 4-card spade, you bid 3 spades. If you're stronger, then obviously you shouldn't bid 3 spades, but you should make a Q bid in opponent's suit. But whenever they are bidding like 2 over 1-ish, even if it's 10 plus, then you're more directed to interfere with their bidding preemptively than constructively. So 3 spades is a bid I very much like because it takes away a lot of room for West. So West bids 4 hearts, which is the right bid. You have a 4th heart even. 3 hearts would be enough for a fit, but the 4th heart makes bidding 4 hearts even obvious even with a minimum hand. Now North bids 4 spades on the basis of her good shape, two-suited shape. And now East has a very difficult hand. How can you find out if it's slam or not? You need for partner to have something like the ace of hearts and enough in clubs to not lose a trick. So you can do all sorts of intelligent things like check for key cards, make a 5 diamond Q bid, make a 5 club Q bid. But I actually like the bid chosen by East and just did a very practical 6 hearts, because asking for key cards whenever you have a void doesn't get you anywhere. Partner will show you a number of key cards and you still don't know if that key card is the ace of diamonds or the ace of hearts. So since partner opened the club and bid 4 hearts, I think this hand qualifies for a jump to 6 hearts, and you just hope for the best. Even if partner doesn't have the ace of hearts, partner could still be void in spades, and so causing you to only lose the heart. So in the play, the spade lead was to the ace and a diamond for the ace, and in the end the declarer pulled trumps and played and saw that North had the singleton trump. So now you are not tempted to finesse the jack of clubs, because North because that would be the winning play if North has a singleton club, but since North already has a singleton heart, that's not so likely. What you could, however, do is okay, it didn't happen here. You could let me play this. You could play a low club, and then if the 10 or the 9 comes, win the king, and try to finesse. Sorry, that's strike that. That doesn't make any sense what I said. So the way the clubs are distributed, you don't. I thought you had the 10, but you don't. So you only have to choose whether to finesse the clubs or play from the top. So we've all learned with 9 clubs you have to play them from the top. But the fact that North has a singleton heart, that makes it even more obvious to do so. So a well-deserved 6 heart make. Okay, question is, do you always preempt with 4-card support, or should you necessarily have an unbalanced hand, especially vulnerable versus non-vulnerable? Yes, every aspect of what you said matters. So we are talking about this situation. Should you have, I'm just changing the south hand side slightly. If you are 4-3-3, then I will treat any 4-3-3. I will treat it as a 3-card race. So then I would never bid 3 spades. I might bid 2 spades with some values, but not with this hand actually. If you like transform 1 diamond in 1 heart, now I can totally live with bidding just 2 spades also. If you're vulnerable, again, I can totally live with bidding 2 spades. So the combination in this fact of having an unbalanced hand and having and being not vulnerable makes me think that 3 spades is the bid you should choose. You always play for a drop when singleton and void in the 2 hands. Well, to use the phrase always is very dangerous, so no. But what you are doing is, when you look at this club suit, you have to at least you should recognize that there are 2 possibilities of playing this club suit: club ace, club king, or club ace and club to the jack. And whenever you have 2 possibilities, you should think in which cases you should do one, and which cases you should do the other, and then which case is more likely. So, and there is where I injected the fact that North only had a singleton heart. So finessing is only right when North has 2 singletons, so that makes it less likely. Let's say North had 3 hearts and South had 0 hearts. And then you would actually be very tempted to finesse South for the queen 3rd of clubs. So it all depends on what is like. Could you play for a squeeze for North in the minors? Is what my good friend Andy says. Yes, you can, but that is dependent on the fact that North has the king, the queen, and also the jack of diamonds. So which is never given. The king of diamonds return actually indicates that North does have the king queen, but the jack still remains uncertain. So you might try for that if you, as long as you're not playing for the drop. As long as you're not finessing, you might as well play all your trumps and then play club to the king, and let's see if North has a problem. If North has queen 3rd of clubs and king queen jack of diamonds, then you in fact have a squeeze against North. So it's very possible to play it like that, but then you would need king queen and jack. Sarah asks, is North likely to have 3 clubs to the queen? Yes, maybe North is likely. Because of the singleton heart, at least it's a very live possibility. The only problem is you cannot really finesse North for the queen of clubs because you're lacking the 10 or the 9 of clubs. So let's give East the 10 of clubs, then it becomes an interesting hand, and you are at least starting with the king of clubs and playing a club, and then deciding whether to finesse North for the queen of clubs because of the singleton heart. And well, now the queen of clubs drops immediately. So that would be the right thing to play, right thing to do. But now you should at least not finesse South for the queen of clubs. Yeah, it makes a difference if North has bid spades and diamonds. In the actual hand, let me see, North only bid spades. But if North has shown a 2-suited hand and made some extra noise maybe after the 3 spade bid 4 spades again after showing a 2-suited hand, now you might be tempted to play North for 11 cards in spades and diamonds. But yeah, that's very tempting. So I don't blame somebody going down based on that information, but based on the information at this table, I would think you should make the contract. Okay, thank you. I will continue with board 9. 9. I don't have a particular table. I want to yeah, this table, which you can now see. Okay, this table is the table I wanted to highlight because once again, North is the dealer, and in this board, North is favorable. North South are not vulnerable, and East West are vulnerable. So North really has to act. North has to preempt. And some people play a 2-diamond opening bid as a multi or something else. If you have 2 diamonds available as a weak 2-bid, I think that's an acceptable option. But because you have a 6-4 and you're favorable, I actually think 3-diamond bid is better than a 2-diamond bid. I saw that lots of people passed the North hand. Probably that's based on the teachings that you need a better suit or maybe 7 cards to open 3 diamonds. And in general, that's the case, but you should always be on the lookout for spots where you are favorable. Once again, you are not vulnerable and they are. And then the lights are green, as they say, and you should open as much as possible. So here you should open 3 diamonds. After 3 diamonds, East passes, South passes, obviously. And now West has a hand that wants to bid, and you see immediately the advantage of opening 3 diamonds. West wants to bid both hearts and spades, and if West had the option to start at the 1 level, you bid 1 heart and later try to play with your spades, but now you have a choice immediately. So having a 4-5 distribution in the majors on the 1 level is 100% overcall. On the 2 level, for me, 100% overcall. On the 3 level, now it's a little bit different. Now I would lean towards doubling with the 4-5 shape to get both suits in, because the chances of getting both suits in by overcalling are very slim. So I would normally double with the 4-5 suit. However, this hand has such a discrepancy between the hearts and the spades that I'm totally fine with the 3 heart bid by West. So West bids 3 hearts. East raises to 4 hearts, and that's where they play. So after a diamond lead, you take the ace, because you can finesse later. No need to do it right now. Who knows? Maybe North has 10-9-6 and South has single to queen. So you first take the ace, you pull trumps. Another trump. Okay, so that work is done, but that still leaves you with 4 losers. You have 3 spade losers, ace, king, queen, and in fact you also have a club loser. So you have to take a diamond finesse and hope that it works. Obviously, on this bidding by a 3-diamond opening, you're pretty sure that it works. But even if North had passed, then you should play diamonds to the jack. Just hope that it will work out, because you are playing teams and you're not playing pairs. You might go down 1 more if stuff like this happens, but you don't matter, because it's teams and you have to try everything you can to make the contract. On the king of diamonds, you pitch the club loser, and now you just play spades until you can drop the 4th spade and dummy with the 10. And in that way, you make 10 tricks. Okay, any questions about this board? Okay, so one question is that East might be tempted to bid 3-no, and I understand bidding 3-no when partner bids 3 spades, but when partner bids 3 hearts, that gives you like 9 or more, even more hearts, and you obviously know diamonds is not a problem, but South is on lead, and that's might be a problem, because one of the black suits they might take 5 tricks in. So normally the only suit you worry about is the suit the opponents have bid, but holding ace, king, jack, and diamonds, you know South will lead the black suit. So 3 trump is not is not the right way to go. What if North passes and South opens? So if North passes, South can open a club. Maybe not in first hand, but in third hand you can open a little bit lighter. West will open a heart. North will bid diamonds, and now East should support hearts, but should do so in a manner that will show that she has heart fit and also values. And the way to do that is by, let's say, pass, one club, one heart overcall. Let's say North bid 2 diamonds. Now you can bid something like 3 diamonds to show that you have heart fit and good values. And then the West can bid 4 hearts. Even it's not so clear, but I think with a 5-4 distribution you will do that. Another question. It's, let's say the bidding was like at our table, and it goes double. 3 diamonds, pass, double, pass. Now, what decision will you take as East? Will you bid your hearts or will you pass the double? So, first of all, if partner doubles on the 1 level, that's for the majors. 1 diamond double. You're aiming towards the majors, and that is the same at the 3 level. That however doesn't mean you promise 100% 4-card heart. So with partner holding a probable 4-card heart suit, but you're not sure, I would actually elect to pass with the. I would elect to pass with the East hand. Should you be equal vulnerability? So let's say nobody is vulnerable. I would pass with the East hand and try to get 500. That which would be more than my game. But with this vulnerability, and that immediately strengthens the case for preempting a lot. But with this vulnerability, passing 3 diamonds doubles might get you only 300, where 620 is available. So I would be tempted to bid 4 hearts anyway. Okay, last question about this board is, let's say South opens a club. So pass, a club. A question is, should you double with this West hand or should you overcall 1 heart? I would say with a 5-4 distribution on the 1 level, I will overcall 100% of the time. On the 2 level with a 5-4 distribution, and let's say 13 points, I will overcall 80% of the time and double 20% of the time. On the 3 level, I will double 70% of the time. So the higher you go, the more flexible bid, the more value flexible bid has. So on the 1 level, you can overcall 1 heart because there's plenty of time and room to introduce your space later. On the 3 level, you just have to make do with the 1 bid that describes most of your hand, which is double, which brings both majors into play. So it matters a lot whether on what level your action is. So on the 1 level, I would always overcall on 5-card suit. 3-no trump. Okay, the last. Okay, I said the last question, but then 1 final question. Double, pass. Should you bid 3-no trump or 4 hearts? I'm completely fine with 3-no trump now. I would not bid 3-no trump over 3 hearts overcall my partner, but if partner doubles 3 diamonds, now I'm fairly confident that partner will have some values in both black suits. So I'm okay with 3-no trump. I'm also okay with 4 hearts. Can either one can work. So it's maybe not the answer you're looking for, but sometimes that's life. Okay, last board. Board 13. I wanted to discuss with you, and board 13 was an interesting hand. Let's say I will this one. East opens a club. Excuse me. Every time. North passes, unless you have some Polish 2-suiter available, which I can highly recommend, but I don't play it myself either. So let's go with pass. East opens a club. And now South has a hand. You can call it a preemptive hand, but actually you're really hoping to make 4 hearts. So you bid 4 hearts, which is what I would do also. And pass, and now East has a tough hand because you actually have too much to pass, but you have a very inconvenient shape to double. Still, I would probably venture a double and hope partner will pass. So for me, I would double, but I understand passing because passing looks like a takeout double here. So now, the things I want to say about this is all about the play. So West leads club. You can also lead diamond, but let's say club. And South ruffs. South obviously wants to ruff diamonds in dummy. So, because South wants that, South will lead a diamond to the 10 and the king. Now East can figure out that South is ruffing diamonds, so East makes a very good play by returning trump to avoid ruffs in dummy. So, okay, North wins the heart, crosses with a club ruff, and gets 1 diamond ruff. Okay, let's count the tricks. Originally, South has, can I do this? Yeah, you can see now the original cards. Originally, South had 7 hearts. She will all make them. She has 1 spade tricks is 8. And she has 1 diamond ruff is 9. So you only have 9 tricks. You need 1 trick more. So what you do is you ruff a club. And what you should do now is pull all the trumps. A bit scary. I'm not sure whether this declarer played it right. That's too bad. You should pull another round trump. Let me do it. Then the last round trump. And North plays the club. And now you should play spade to the jack for the king. And because the diamonds are distributed the way they are, East can only take 1 club and has to play spade to the ace 10. Even if West is very tricky, and no, sorry, excuse me for this. Even if West is tricky and puts in the queen, still you can win the ace and play a spade. And because East has another low spade left, you always make your 10 of spades for the turn trick. But that was a very tough play to make for hearts. I'm wondering if some of you made 4 hearts, and it's very tough to envision the way this hand was distributed. So this concludes my selection of the boards. If you have other questions about other boards or this board, then let me know. Okay, the question about this board is: can you play a spade in trick 2? A spade in trick 2, you can, but now you are very much depending on the spades to break the way they are. So if the hearts are 3-1 and the spades are 4-2, then playing a spade now doesn't really work. So you really want to play diamonds. But the way the spades are, it might work also now. Yeah. Let's say like double dummy. If you put the queen up, which makes life very tough. If you put the queen, then you need a bit of luck to make this one. But the luck will come in because East has ace king bear of diamonds and they cannot catch 3 diamond tricks in this case. So yes, you will make if you play spade, but I think playing hard better. If West leads a spade, then you need to play the jack, effectively giving you the whole suit if they take. because you can pull trumps and cash all the spades afterwards. And if they have to duck, then it gives you the 10th trick already. Are there other boards where you want to have questions about, or let me know? Yeah, what's about this decision? When should you double, or when should you pass? Well, for me, when you play a natural system, you either double with hands as a takeout double, so that would give you maybe 4 spades, a singleton heart, 3 diamonds, and 5 clubs, and extra values, let's say 16 points with 4 spades, singleton heart, 3 diamonds, and 5 clubs. That will be a very normal double. But you are unfortunately also have some hands that you don't have the perfect shape, but you just are too strong to pass. So this hand, in my opinion, qualifies in the latter category, and I would just double with that hand and hope for the best. So what would be a reason not to double? So it's either your takeout and you're like 15 or more, or you have like 18, 19 balanced. Those are my hand selections for double. The exception I make is if I have 18, 19 balanced with a lot of heart values, then I pretty much know that if I double and partner is bidding, it will be wrong. And I am afraid partner will be bidding. With this actual hand, this West hand, I would be very tempted to bid, because if partner has a takeout double, then they have like 11 hearts at least among them. So I might bid 5 diamonds with this West hand, which actually is a playable contract, as it turns out. You might be able to defeat it, but it's not so easy. 17 ace of with a singleton ace of clubs, 4-1. Don't remember board number, best opening, 4th position. Okay, so if you have a 15 to 17 shape with a singleton ace of clubs, yeah. So 4-4-1 shapes are always interesting because they're trouble in every system. So if you have a singleton king, specifically a singleton king or a singleton queen, in a much lesser extent, I would suggest opening a no trump and you're done with it. Singleton ace or like a small singleton doesn't qualify as well. So I would open a diamond with those kind of hands and then just hope for the best. So if partner bids a major, you can jump to 3 major or 4 major, depending on how strong you judge your hand. 4-1 is not great, so maybe I will just bid 3. And if partner bids a no trump, I'll just bid 2 no trump. So that was board 6 was the hand. Let's say we are talking about this north hand and pass, oh, pass, and now you have this hand. So this actual north hand judged to open a no trump, but I think I would open a diamond. Okay, thanks all for joining me, and I hope to see you again. De Wijs. Somebody asked me about the pronunciation of my name. Bye bye.